Welcome back to the wonderful world of Equestria. We have won the war. The Wingardian barbarism is no more. And we control a big chunk of their land, including our 3 major cities that we needed for our national focus tree. That's what they are called. Let's have a small look. An empire restored will be our next one. After that, we have 3 more enemies. The Falcorian military government, which is already under control because they were swallowed up by Wingardi. The Kingdom of Grifonstone, a small nation up here. And our socialist friends who helped us against Wingardi and pretty much just burned themselves out. They have barely any units left. We're not that much healthier, but we still got about 3 times as much. So once we have secured everything, our final goal would be Maryland. However, Maryland is a subject of Equestria, and Equestria has already started pushing back the changelings. So if at all possible, we would like to go to war with the Lost Colony, unless they just give up and give it to us. We want them to, we want to fight them while they are still occupied with the changelings. Because we got a special decisions which says once we have occupied everything, we can sue for peace so that they can concentrate on their own continent and we can keep everything. Which then would mean we are the Southern Falcon and the Empire of Aquila, no longer the Kingdom of Aquila, can become our friend, and we live in words. And we're gonna live the rest of our lives out in peace and quiet. Well, hopefully. Unless some other mad country like the Dread Legion suddenly breaks out and marches to war. But I think after that one we are pretty much set. Can be that we have to do something about the Black Rock Raiders. Oh. What else? I think I already, as I said, I'm training up a few new troops because we got a lot more coastal area that needs to be protected. Also maybe a second attack force would be nice. I'm researching quite into tanks and airplanes, so we got a proper air force this time and not just some, pre-World War planes. They aren't even World War planes, they just even older than that. And to that end, we are also producing planes, bombers, close air support, a bit of magical equipment for our military police to keeping the resistance down. One other factor, we probably soon will be able to core all this former Wingardian land and the Francistra lands, because we need 40% compliance control, and the only one that's not quite there yet is the Order of Trinity, which should be what became the supremacist version of Francia. All 3 of our words come so hard today, of our spies working on reducing resistance, and we starting to crack the cipher of the socialist neighbors. Let's get on with it. Also wanted to get this sooner across. I don't think I'm done with Equestria after this playthrough, so if there is a nation you wanted to see played, I'm happy to take suggestions. Just leave it in the comments and I'm gonna take a look. If it's something interesting or, mostly if it's something I haven't yet played. I've already taken a run as the River Republic, the Nimbosia State. I've played the Direct League. I played the Yale something or other, the university city down here that rebuilds the Emperor. And I played as Stalingrad. So those are the nations I already focus trees. Stalingrad with the socialists, expand everywhere. And River Republic was mostly peaceful. And I think I played with whatever this one here is. the Magocracy with the Pentarchy. But there are a lot of ways to play that I haven't yet played and that I would be interested to. So if you want to see something special, just let me know. The rise of the Talonsian Empire. A shocking development has come out of the southern Grifonia today. Amicelli Fetivola, leader of Nova Talonsia, has declared the creation of a new Talonsian Empire that would act as a spiritual successor to the ancient kingdom of Sparleos. For years, Fetivola has espoused rhetoric about bringing southern Grifonia back into the fold of Talonsia, but it was mostly regarded as the ravings of a lunatic. Now, however, it seems that Fetivola has turned his dreams into reality, and his empire is now the rising power in southern Grifonia. Many of his neighbors have denounced him as a violent conqueror, and are shoring up their defenses against the self-proclaimed chosen of Arantigos Boreas. May we rule for 1,000 years. Yeah, that's gonna happen. In the shadow of the conqueror, the sun burned hot over the streets of Sparletto. Sending ripples through the air of Fetivola touched his recent acquisitions. He felt no discomfort, though as the place had captured him utterly. Everywhere he looked, he could not help but marvel at the wonders of the storied and ancient city. Grand buildings built millennia ago, exquisite tapestries, artifacts of the kingdom of Sparleos. Such culture. Fortunately, Sparletto was now in Talonsian claw, and Talonsians would be far better caretakers of this culture than Arantigans. He walked through the city at a steady pace until he saw something that stopped him in his tracks. In a plaza near the city center, a large statue of immaculate marble towered over him. The figure was unmistakable. It was the legend himself, Arantigos. Sword in claw, from the era of his most glorious conquests, Fetivola was awed at the majesty and could do little except lower himself out of reverence. It was a humbling moment, realizing that despite all his achievements up to now, he was nowhere close to the legend that loomed before him. Humbling, but far from disheartening, Fetivola clenched his claws in determination. He wasn't finished yet. His empire has only just been revived, and he promised himself that he would not rest until it entered into a new age of glory to match the old. He would see it done, no matter what. The legacy is an honor and a burden. We get the event triumph, which was probably the one we just read. Alright, let's get some pony bar in here. Supply should be coming up soon. In August. Yeah. Let us, for now, get a little back. There's no reason to suffer any attrition. Alright. How's the... Oh, there we are. Triumph. Pageantry was in the air as Fetivola toured the notable sites of Catherine, now part of the Talonsian Empire. But despite the ever-present splendor of the Eternal City, he found himself feeling troubled. For although the city itself was eternal, Carthaginian civilization had fallen long ago. After centuries, cruel centuries, all that remains of their ancient glory was myths and legends. It was the same fate Talonsia had come so precariously close to sharing. Had Antonesius Vitaro himself, grandson to Palino, great reshaper of the Carthaginian Republic, first emperor, once paraded down these very streets? Fetivola wondered. Had he breathed in the same air, content, assured of his own immortality, and of his people's perpetual ascendancy? Fetivola sighed. He would have to push such thoughts aside. There were still important decisions to be made. Now he had to complete his tour of the Empire's newly acquired territory. The time had come to consider the selection of a new capital. Naturally, Spoleto would bolster Talonsian's claim as being the successor of the ancient kingdom of Spaleos, as well as demonstrating the reverence they held for Arantigos. Alternatively, Corfin's central location and strategic importance made it an attractive option as well. But still, the thought could not escape Fedivola. Would it truly be wise to abandon Talalonte? Well, this gives us a amazingly huge problem. Mainly, we don't have yet any supply lines up towards Spoleto. It would be the most defensible location. It's got ports, it would be up in the north, and we mainly would fight against southerners who came in from the sea, which would make both Tarlonte and Carthin incredibly susceptible to attacks. So I think I may have to go with Sparlento, even though it might give me some amazingly huge troubles now in terms of supply. Can we go from... No, it would be best if I was just to go there. Upgrade it all the way up and give it all the way to the top. Let's see, once I press play... Yeah, this looks bad. This looks really bad. You get a fallback line to here. The coastal provinces can support my troops, but this down here is just... Nope, not gonna happen. They all gotta hide out at the home front. Got to be done. Operation Paperclip. There's a lot of technology we more or less acquired by... Oh, I'm umming a great deal. By acquiring the enemies... Here we go again. Why am I umming so much today? Their technologies, what they had in their country, we can just learn from it, call it reverse engineering, whatever you want. And we can, you know, get up to speed. We can... Especially, I'm interested in mobile warfare. There's a lot of stuff I'm missing. And I'm still not really done with all the main armaments. That's why I need the anti-tank weapons. I hope you can barely survive. Oh. So we got another about 60 days before we will think about going to war again. If we do so... Oh, there it is. How long would it take? 15th of June. May, June, so 1 month. So we should have at least level 2 supplies going back down towards the rest of the world. This was, of course, a greatly developed supply line. And now we are suffering for it, but, well, can't do nothing about it unless I go for... Where was it? There it is. Regional industrial integration? No, that's not it. Wasn't there something where you could rebuild your supply lines, reorganize supplies, but maybe that's just in war times, in case you get cut off. Oh well. Destiny. Petivola tapped his claw idly as he looked over the map of Griffonia that lay before him. The map was sprawling, so big that it barely fit on the grand table he and his high-ranking military staff had gathered around. He appreciated his generals, although they too often neglected the strategic aspects of warfare, becoming bogged down in operational tactics and minutiae. You have all done what so so far, Vetivola said, looking at each of the military griffins around him. The boundaries of our empire have become quite formidable. but there is still opportunity near us waiting to be seized. His claw swept across the map, from New Maryland, east to Falcor, Sycamore, and finally north to the ancestral home of Grifon kind, Griffonstone. Our armies will march to reclaim all these territories, and the Talonsian Empire's majesty will be known throughout the world. The generals around him nodded without a trace of hesitation. It went without saying that they would carry out Petivola's will, or die trying. We will take our rightful place. 1 year of planning speed. And our supply lines have been rebuilt and will still be upgraded. So we once again can shove enough down our throat. I sadly have to stay on all pony serve because I want to train up some more troops. Our total pony power is 4.2 million. We lost quite a lot already. And so going down would mean we will be very, very low on pony power. Also, I'm training up like a madman because I'm pretty sure the changeling lands will have fallen long before we are able to declare war on Maryland. With the additional problem of naval landings. I don't think I have the technology yet for naval landings. Oh, I do. I have the absolute bare minimum. But I gotta improve this even more. Thank goodness we can use our Air Force to secure the strait. Also, we could maybe just run on over, but I'm not sure if Port Arbor and Starfall. How many? 5 and 1 victory point. How stable? You're quite low stability, so if I could rush the mainland and then take the Isles, we should be able to sue for peace. But we might not be. The Hertzland and all are still normal. Can I send you non-aggression pact? You would not. You're not in the slightest interested. Doesn't wonder me too much. So our first one has been ignored, and now I think it is time we get rid of the raider threat. The Pericii. How many victory points are down there? There are 10 victory points, so this will have to be taken. But there is a strait, so it should be doable. First set of air wing. Oh, that's only a 400. No wonder we got some problems. You go over here and we will create another. Oh, they will take whatever I need. Let's create a 300 and then we can split them. Do I possess any more bombers? Only naval and a few early bombers, so nope. All close air supports are in action. Alright, the Air Force is growing, but it takes time. This part of the enemy land is pretty much empty, so I just got, I think it's 4 troops stationed around to swarm on in. That will be the first real battle for our knights and our newly recruited recruits. But I think the first batch will join the defensive army along the coast because I'm really sure they will try some sort of naval invasion. The AI is way better at the naval game than I am ever going to be. And I am quite dreadful at it. But all this and more will be next time. Next time will be probably maybe even 2 wars, because unless there's something really special happening, it's just waiting for numbers to blink around and maybe a few slight maneuvers. I yet don't possess any type of armored vehicles. So despite being an expert at mobile warfare, I don't have any mobiles to be warfare with. Also, I think I can get rid of the fallback line. I had to have all my troops back there, so they wouldn't attrition to death. Supply line's looking okay, so we gotta go through the south, otherwise in the north there's a small depot, but here in the mountains we would just starve out. And this down here will be catered through the naval way. And I still only possess those 7 ships. There's no new ship ready to join the fleet. But after all, the last 5 years I didn't build a single ship because I mainly got one single seaport, and that was producing convoys for trade. Well, enough babbling on. Hope you're having a nice day, and bye bye.